There is something waiting for you, something greater than you have imagined. You may not see it yet, but it is already yours. The divine does not withhold, it only gives. The moment you understand this truth, you will stop striving, stop doubting, and start receiving. The surprise that God has for you is not in some distant future. It is here, now, waiting for you to recognize it. Every desire placed in your heart was not given to taunt you, but to awaken you to what is already prepared. You have been walking toward it. You do not need to beg for it, chase after it, or question whether you are worthy. The very longing in your soul is proof that it is yours to have. But how do you receive it? By assuming it is already done. The moment you shift your inner state to the promise is fulfilled, the outer world must conform. Stop searching outside yourself. The gift is within you. When you close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of what you seek, when you embrace the joy of it as though it were already so, you unlock the door to divine manifestation. Many believe that waiting is a sign of denial, but it is not. What seems like delay is only perfect timing. The surprise God has for you is not small. It is beyond your expectations. And for that, it must arrive in divine order. Trust the unfolding. Your only task is to believe, to walk as if the blessing has already been delivered. When you wake up in the morning, give thanks for what you have not yet seen, and soon it will no longer be unseen. God's greatest surprises come when you least expect them. When you surrender, when you trust, when you rest in the knowing that it is already done. There is a divine order to your life, a grand design woven into the very fabric of your existence. You may not always see it, but every moment, every experience, and every challenge has been leading you towards something far greater than you can comprehend. The unseen hand of God has already set the stage, aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in perfect harmony for your highest good. You were never meant to struggle, to beg, or to wonder whether you are worthy. The simple fact that you exist is proof that you are part of something extraordinary. Before you ever took your first breath, a path was laid out for you. A path filled with abundance, love, success, and fulfillment. But to walk that path, you must first accept the truth that everything you seek is already yours. The problem is not that life is withholding anything from you. It is that you have been conditioned to believe that you must fight for what is already given. You have been taught that effort, struggle, and endless striving are the only ways to achieve your desires. But this is a false premise, one that keeps you in a cycle of lack and limitation. The reality is far simpler, far more powerful. What belongs to you will come to you when you align yourself with it. Alignment does not mean chasing. It does not mean forcing things to happen. It means stepping into the knowing that your life has already been designed for greatness. It means recognizing that what you seek is not outside of you, but already within, waiting to be acknowledged and claimed. You do not become worthy, you already are. You do not earn blessings, they are already given. The only task before you is to step into that awareness and embody the truth of who you are. Look at nature. The sun does not beg to shine, it simply radiates. The river does not struggle to flow, it moves with ease. The tree does not force itself to grow, it simply unfolds in its due season. And yet, as human beings, we have convinced ourselves that we must fight for the things that are meant for us. We believe we must prove ourselves, hustle endlessly, and exhaust our energy just to receive what was already planned for us before we even arrived on this earth. What if, instead of striving, you began to trust? What if you understood that the desires in your heart were placed there by God not as a test or a tease, but as a promise? What if you stopped asking, "How will it happen?" and instead rested in the certainty that it must happen because it is already done? This shift in mindset is the key to unlocking everything. When you no longer question whether you are deserving, when you no longer doubt whether your dreams will come true, you create space for the unseen to become seen. You allow divine timing to unfold without resistance. You become like the river, flowing effortlessly toward your destiny. But how do you step into this truth? You begin by seeing yourself as already possessing all that you desire. If it is love you seek, embody the feeling of being loved. If it is success, walk as though you have already achieved it. If it is abundance, move through life as if prosperity is your natural state. This is not wishful thinking. It is aligning yourself with what is already true. Many struggle with this because they believe they must see it first to believe it. But faith works in the opposite direction. You must believe first, and then you will see. The world around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. If you persist in lack, doubt, and fear, your life will mirror those beliefs. But if you persist in certainty, joy, and expectation, the world must conform to that as well. God is not withholding anything from you. The universe is not against you. Life is not a struggle unless you make it one. The moment you release the need to control, to force, to prove, you will begin to witness how effortlessly things come to you. Doors will open that you never knocked on. Opportunities will appear without effort. The right people will come into your life at the perfect time. You do not need to see the full picture to trust that it is already complete. You do not need to know every detail to believe that all is working in your favor. All that is required of you is to step into the knowing that your path is divinely guided, that your desires are meant for you, and that nothing can stop what has already been written. Take a deep breath and release the struggle. Let go of the belief that you must fight for what is already yours. Step forward with confidence, knowing that your life has already been designed for greatness. The unseen hand of God is guiding you, orchestrating every detail, preparing blessings beyond your imagination. You do not need to chase, you do not need to force, you only need to receive. And as you do, you will realize that everything you have ever wanted was never out of reach. It was always waiting for you to claim it. Everything you desire, everything you long for, already exists within you. The world you experience is not separate from your mind, it is a reflection of it. Long before anything appears in the physical, it must first be accepted in the unseen realm of imagination. This is the secret to creation, the hidden law behind every miracle, every success, and every transformation. You may believe that life happens to you, that circumstances dictate your reality, and that you must wait for external conditions to change before you can feel joy, abundance, or fulfillment. But this is an illusion. Nothing in the external world has power over you unless you grant it power. The true source of change, the real birthplace of manifestation, is within. Imagination is not a mere escape, nor is it idle daydreaming. It is the blueprint from which all reality emerges. Everything you see, the buildings, the technology, the art, the movements of history, was first conceived in the mind before it took form. The same principle applies to your life. If you can see it within, if you can feel it as though it is already yours, then it must come to pass. The surprise God has for you is not something distant, something beyond your reach, something reserved for another time. It is already present in the realm of the unseen, waiting for your recognition, waiting for your acceptance. But to receive it, you must first align yourself with it in thought and feeling. Many wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to believe in the possibility of something greater. They say, I will be happy when this happens, or I will trust when I see proof. But this is backward. The universe responds not to what you need, not to what you beg for, but to what you assume to be true. The moment you accept something in your mind as real, the wheels of creation begin to turn, and life starts rearranging itself to match your inner state. Doubt is the only thing that stands in the way of your desires. When you question whether something is possible, when you allow the evidence of the physical world to dictate your beliefs, you close yourself off from what is already yours. But when you persist in the knowing, when you refuse to accept appearances as final, you unlock a power greater than anything the world has shown you. This is why faith is so powerful. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the unshakable certainty that what you desire already exists, even when there is no physical proof. When you operate from this place, life has no choice but to reflect your conviction. It is not a question of if, it is only a question of when. Your imagination is the key. Close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of what you seek. Feel the joy, the peace, the gratitude as if it were already yours. Let it be so real in your inner world that the outer world has no choice but to conform. This is not forcing reality, this is aligning with it. You are not asking for something to happen, you are recognizing that it already has happened in the unseen, and now it is only a matter of time before it takes form. Many will tell you that life is unpredictable, that you must accept things as they are. But the truth is, nothing is fixed. Reality is fluid, always shifting in response to your state of mind. If you persist in lack, if you entertain thoughts of doubt and fear, then life will mirror that back to you. But if you persist in the feeling of already having, if you make your inner world rich with expectation, then the world must eventually bow to your vision. Look at your life now. Every event, every opportunity, every struggle, it all began in your mind. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you have been shaping your reality with your thoughts and beliefs. If you want to change your life, do not fight the external. Change what you accept as true within yourself, and the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. This is why those who expect miracles receive them. Those who assume favor find doors opening effortlessly. Those who refuse to see obstacles as final always rise above them. The difference is not in luck, not in effort, but in the unseen work of imagination. God has already prepared something incredible for you, but you must claim it with the certainty that it is yours. Let go of the idea that you are separate from your desires. The very fact that you can imagine something means it is possible. Otherwise, the thought would not have been placed within you. Accept it now. Walk in the feeling of already receiving. Do not wait for signs. Be the sign. Do not ask when it will happen. Know that it already has. The world may not yet see it, but that does not matter. The moment you make it real in your mind, it is only a matter of time before life catches up. Imagination precedes reality. What you claim within must appear without. Accept this truth and you will realize that the surprise God has for you has been with you all along, waiting for you to step into it. There comes a moment when you must stop searching, stop striving, and simply receive. The very act of seeking implies that what you desire is separate from you, that it is distant, that it is something to be chased. But the truth is, nothing is missing. Nothing is outside of your reach. The only thing standing between you and your desire is the belief that you do not already possess it. You have been conditioned to think that effort, struggle, and persistence in the external world are the keys to success. That if you work hard enough, push long enough, and fight relentlessly, you will eventually obtain what you seek. But this is a deception. True creation does not come from effort, it comes from alignment. It is not about how hard you try, but how deeply you accept that what you want is already yours. The moment you stop searching and start receiving, you enter a new state of being. You are no longer hoping, wishing, or pleading for change. You are living in the end, in the feeling of fulfillment. in the knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This shift is subtle but powerful. Instead of acting from a place of lack, you begin to act from a place of abundance. Instead of seeking confirmation from the external world, you trust the inner conviction that it is already done. Many people misunderstand what it means to receive. They believe that receiving is passive, that it means doing nothing and waiting for things to fall into place. But receiving is not inaction. It is a state of mind. It is the willingness to let go of struggle, to release resistance, and to align with divine timing. When you assume the feeling of already having, you no longer operate from desperation. You are calm, confident, and at peace, because you know that what you desire is making its way to you in perfect order. Imagine standing in front of a door that is already open, yet you keep knocking, pleading for it to be unlocked. The door was never closed. The only thing keeping you from stepping through is your insistence that it must open first. This is what happens when you keep searching for something that is already within your grasp. You do not need to beg, chase, or force. You simply need to recognize that the door has been opened all along. Divine timing is never rushed, nor is it ever late. Everything appears in your life at the precise moment you are ready to receive it. If something has not yet manifested, it is not because it is being withheld from you. It is because you have not fully accepted it within. The moment you assume the feeling of already having, you synchronize with the flow of creation. You are no longer working against it. You are no longer delaying what is meant for you. Think of a radio station. The music is already playing, but you can only hear it when you tune in to the right frequency. Your desires are no different. They already exist in the unseen, waiting for you to align with them. The question is not whether they are coming, it is whether you are in the right state to receive them. When you chase after something, you affirm its absence. You tell yourself, I do not have this yet, and that belief keeps it from you. But when you relax into the feeling of already having, you shift your reality. You no longer need to force anything because you have become a magnet for it. Opportunities, ideas, and people begin to appear effortlessly. The external world bends to match your inner world. This is why some people seem to receive blessings without struggle, while others work tirelessly with little to show for it. It is not because one is more deserving than the other. It is simply that one has learned the power of alignment, while the other is still caught in the illusion of striving. The key is to embody the end result. If you desire love, do not seek it. Feel love now. If you desire wealth, do not chase money. Assume the feeling of abundance. If you desire success, do not worry about how it will happen. Live as if it already has. The more you embody the state of already having, the faster reality conforms to your assumption. The mind will try to resist this truth. It will insist that you must do something, that you must fix, control, or force the outcome. But the moment you let go of that need, you free yourself. You step into ease, into trust, into the knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. Look at your life now. Look at where you are still striving, still searching, still waiting. What if, instead of waiting, you simply accepted that it is already done? What if, instead of chasing, you rested in the certainty that what is yours can never be lost? This shift in perception is the key to everything. You were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to beg for what is already yours. The only thing required is a change in awareness, a willingness to see what has been present all along. Stop searching, stop striving, start receiving. The moment you do, you will realize that everything you ever wanted has been waiting for you to claim it. There are moments in life when you feel as if everything is taking too long. You have envisioned your desire, you have felt it, believed in it, and yet nothing seems to be moving. The waiting feels unbearable, and doubt begins to creep in. You wonder if you are doing something wrong, if you have missed your chance, if perhaps what you desire was never meant to be. But what if I told you that every delay is not a denial, but an invitation to trust, to surrender, to align with the perfect unfolding of your life? What appears to be a delay is never truly a delay. It is divine precision at work. It is the movement of unseen forces arranging everything in your favor. The human mind is impatient, always seeking instant gratification, always wanting proof before belief. But faith does not operate on human timing. Faith understands that what is unseen is just as real as what is seen, and that when something has not yet appeared in the physical world, it does not mean it is absent. It simply means it is in preparation. Think of a seed planted in the soil. For days, weeks, perhaps even months, nothing appears on the surface. The impatient observer might assume that nothing is happening, that the seed has failed. But beneath the surface, the seed is transforming. It is growing roots, deepening its foundation, preparing for the moment it will break through the earth and reach the sun. If the seed were to sprout too soon, before it had developed strong roots, it would wither and die at the first challenge. It is the delay that ensures its survival. Your desires are no different. What seems like waiting is actually a season of preparation. You are being shaped, refined, strengthened. If what you seek arrived before you were ready to receive it, it would not be a blessing. It would be a burden. The delay is not to punish you. It is to protect you. It is ensuring that when your desire arrives, you will be in the right state to hold it, to sustain it, to fully embrace it. The mind resists this truth. It wants certainty. It wants to control outcomes, to force things to happen on its own timeline. But every time you try to control, you introduce resistance. You block the natural flow. You create stress, anxiety, and frustration, which only push your desires further away. True alignment is not about forcing. It is about trusting. It is about knowing that everything is arriving at the appointed hour, neither too soon nor too late, but at the precise moment it is meant to. Look back on your life and reflect on the times when you desperately wanted something, only to receive it later in a way that was far better than you originally imagined. Perhaps you were spared from something that seemed perfect at the time but would have led to disappointment. Perhaps what you thought was a setback was actually a redirection to something greater. You may not have understood it in the moment, but hindsight always reveals the wisdom in divine timing. The same is true now. If something has not yet appeared, it is not because it is lost. It is not because you are unworthy. It is because the moment is still unfolding. The doors that need to open are opening. The people who need to align with you are aligning. The circumstances that will support your vision are being arranged. You do not need to push. You do not need to force. You only need to trust. Trust is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the space between the desire and its manifestation. Most people give up in this space. They let fear and doubt convince them that what they want is impossible. They let impatience drive them to settle for less. But those who hold steady, who remain firm in their belief, who embrace the delay instead of resenting it, are the ones who witness miracles. Every delay carries a lesson. It may be teaching you patience, strengthening your faith, or refining your vision. Perhaps it is helping you release old patterns so that when your desire arrives, you will be able to receive it fully. What seems like waiting is actually transformation. You are not the same person you were when you first planted the seed of your desire. You are evolving, expanding, becoming the version of yourself who can sustain the blessing that is on its way. There is no wasted time in divine timing. Nothing is lost. Nothing is missing. Everything is arriving exactly as it should. The delay is not a stop sign. It is a sacred pause, a space of preparation, a gift disguised as waiting. It is in this space that you learn the deepest lessons, that you develop the unshakable trust that will carry you through every season of life. So instead of resisting the delay, embrace it. Instead of questioning when, know that it is already done. Instead of doubting, rest in the certainty that what is yours cannot be taken from you. The more you trust, the more you allow. The more you allow, the more effortlessly things fall into place. What you seek is not far from you, it is already moving toward you. The delay is not a denial, it is simply the unfolding of perfect alignment. Faith is not a wish, nor is it a mere hope. It is the absolute knowing that what you have imagined, what you have longed for, is already yours. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the formless and the formed. The moment you accept something as true in your heart, without doubt, without hesitation, it must manifest. This is not a possibility, it is a divine law. Your faith is the activator. It is the force that takes what is unseen and calls it into being. The world around you may not yet reflect what you desire, but that does not mean it does not exist. It is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. But here is where many falter. They look for proof before they believe. They want to see results first, to have tangible evidence before they accept something as real. Yet, faith does not work that way. Faith demands that you believe first, that you hold firm to the unseen reality, even when the physical world gives you no sign of its existence. Consider the wind. You do not see it, yet you feel its presence. You do not question whether the air exists simply because you cannot hold it in your hands. In the same way, your desire is already moving, already forming, though you may not yet perceive it. The only thing that can delay it is your own doubt, your own wavering belief. If you allow fear, worry, or skepticism to take root, you disrupt the process. You push away the very thing that is trying to reach you. Faith is not passive. It is not sitting idly by waiting for something to happen. It is an active, living force. It means assuming the feeling of already having, already being, already experiencing the thing you seek. It means walking as if it is already done, thinking, speaking, and acting from a place of certainty. This is the key that unlocks all things. The moment you believe without question, the moment you drop all doubt, the unseen moves in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. Look at the lives of those who have accomplished great things, those who have overcome what seemed impossible. They did not wait for permission from the world. They did not wait for their circumstances to change before believing in their vision. They held an unshakable conviction that what they desired was already done, and because they believed, it became so. This is the secret that so few understand. The world is not withholding from you, it is responding to you. It is a mirror reflecting your deepest beliefs. If you believe in lack, in struggle, in delay, the world will confirm it for you. But if you believe in abundance, in ease, in divine timing, the world will reflect that as well. Faith is not limited by logic. It does not operate by the rules of the mind. The mind seeks reasons, explanations, conditions, but faith transcends all of that. It is a direct connection to the unseen power that governs all things. This power does not require effort, only belief. It does not ask you to struggle, only to trust. And when you truly trust, miracles unfold in ways beyond comprehension. Many people pray for change, but continue to think and act as if nothing has changed. They affirm abundance, but still worry about lack. They declare love, but still feel unworthy of it. They say they trust, but still look for external signs before they feel secure. This is why their desires remain distant. You cannot hold two opposing beliefs and expect to receive what you want. You must be all in. You must fully embody the state of already having, already being, already knowing. If you want to see a change in your life, you must first change your inner state. Stop waiting for evidence, stop looking for signs. Assume it is already done and let that be enough. The moment you shift your state, the world must follow. It has no choice. The unseen responds to faith with absolute precision. Your faith is the only requirement. You do not need approval, validation, or external proof. You do not need to chase, beg, or struggle. You need only believe. And when you believe, The unseen forces of the universe move on your behalf. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances all align effortlessly. What once seemed distant suddenly appears. What once felt impossible becomes your reality. The greatest surprise God has for you is already prepared. It is not something you must earn. It is not something you must struggle for. It is waiting for you to receive it. The only thing required is your faith. Not partial faith, not faith mixed with doubt, but complete, unwavering belief. The moment you decide that it is already done, the unseen moves, and what was once invisible becomes visible. So do not question, do not doubt, do not waver. Stand firm in your belief. Trust that what you seek is already yours. Walk as if it is already done. Speak as if you already have it. Feel as if you are already living it, because the truth is, you are. The unseen is more real than what your eyes can perceive, and the moment you activate your faith, it must become your reality. Gratitude is not merely a polite expression of appreciation. It is the key that unlocks the door to the blessings already prepared for you. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the force that aligns you with all that is waiting to unfold in your life. When you give thanks, not for what you hope will happen, but as though it has already come to pass, you declare to the universe that you have received, and what you have received in consciousness must manifest in your world. Most people wait to see results before they feel grateful. They wait for the breakthrough, the opportunity, the answered prayer before they express thanks. But this is backward thinking. The secret is to give thanks before you see any evidence, before the world confirms what you already know to be true in your heart. Gratitude in advance is the language of faith. It is the ultimate declaration that what you desire is already yours. When you assume the feeling of gratitude, you shift your state of being. You move from lack to abundance, from waiting to receiving. You begin to think, speak, and act from the reality of already having. And when your inner world changes, your outer world must reflect it. This is the law. What you impress upon your consciousness must be expressed in your experience. There is no power in pleading or begging for what is already yours. To ask repeatedly is to affirm that you do not have it. But to give thanks is to acknowledge possession, to claim your inheritance. When you say, thank you, you are affirming that it is done. You are stepping into the reality of already being, already having, already experiencing what you desire. And because your world is a mirror, it has no choice but to reflect this truth back to you. Many live in a state of lack because they focus on what is missing. They wake up thinking about what they do not have, what they have yet to receive, what has not yet happened. And by focusing on what is absent, they continue to create more of the same. But gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing to what is present, from lack to fulfillment. And whatever you focus on expands. Imagine waking up each day and feeling deep, overwhelming gratitude. Not just for what you can see, but for what you have yet to see. Imagine feeling thankful for the success that has not yet appeared, for the love that has not yet arrived, for the opportunity that has not yet revealed itself. If you were to truly embody this state, to truly feel as though all you desire is already yours, how could it not come to pass? How could the world not rearrange itself to reflect this new state of being? Gratitude is not just an emotional response. It is an energetic shift. It places you in the frequency of receiving. The universe responds to your state, not your words. You cannot merely say thank you while secretly doubting or feeling unworthy. You must feel the gratitude deeply, fully, completely. You must let it consume you, let it become the very foundation of your being. And when you do, you will notice the world around you shifting in miraculous ways. The greatest blessings are often hidden until you align with them. What you seek is not outside of you, it is within, waiting for your recognition. The moment you give thanks for it as though it has already happened, You remove all barriers to its manifestation. You move from wanting to having, from hoping to knowing, from separation to unity. There is no delay in the divine. What seems like waiting is only your own misalignment. The moment you enter the state of gratitude as though it is already done, time collapses. What was once distant is now near. What was once a dream becomes reality. The only thing that was ever missing was your recognition of what has always been yours. Gratitude is the practice of seeing beyond appearances, of recognizing the unseen as more real than the seen. It is the ultimate act of faith, the evidence of things not yet visible. And when you live in this state, nothing is withheld from you. Doors open effortlessly, opportunities arise unexpectedly, and blessings unfold in ways beyond your imagination. You do not need to strive, to chase, to struggle. You need only to give thanks. Thank the unseen as if it is seen. Thank the intangible as if it is tangible. Thank the divine not as a request, but as an acknowledgement of what has already been given. And in doing so, you will witness the miracle of creation unfold before your very eyes. So let every moment be filled with gratitude. Wake up each day and say thank you, not because you are waiting for something to happen, but because you know it already has. Walk through life with the confidence of one who already possesses all they have ever desired. Let your heart be filled with gratitude, and watch as the world bends to reflect the abundance that has always been yours. Everything you desire, everything you have ever longed for, is already prepared for you. It is not something to be chased, begged for, or doubted. It is something to be received. Your life is not unfolding by chance, but by divine design, and the surprise that awaits you is far greater than you could ever imagine. The key is not in striving, but in believing. It is not in searching, but in receiving. When you align with divine timing, trust in the unseen, and give thanks as though it has already come to pass, you open the floodgates for miracles. Every so-called delay is simply an invitation to deepen your faith, to rest in the knowing that what is meant for you is already yours. Gratitude is the final seal upon your blessing. It is the evidence of faith, the proof that you have already received. When you embody this state, when you feel the joy, the peace, and the certainty of having, it must manifest in your world. There is no other outcome. So, step forward with confidence, knowing that God's great surprise for you is not far away. It is here. It has always been here, waiting for you to claim it. Trust, believe, and above all, give thanks. And as you do, watch as the world transforms before your eyes. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and step into the reality of your wealth. Not the wealth you hope for, not the wealth you wish would come, the wealth that is already yours. It exists in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. The world will tell you that money is hard to come by, that success takes decades, that you must toil endlessly to see the fruits of your labor. But I tell you, the struggle is an illusion. Your wealth is not something outside of you. It is already within you, awaiting your recognition. What do you see when you think of yourself? Do you see someone trying, striving, struggling, or do you see someone who has already arrived? That vision, that assumption determines your reality. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are wealthy, the outer world must conform to that assumption. Do not wait for proof before you believe. The proof comes after the belief. This is the law. Those who wait for evidence before assuming wealth will remain waiting, but those who boldly assume their millionaire phase has begun will see reality rearrange itself to match their conviction. Speak it now. I am wealthy. I am abundant. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. These are not empty words, they are the seeds of your new reality. Speak them with certainty, and your subconscious mind will accept them as fact. Your only job is to persist in the assumption that you are already the millionaire you desire to be. Everything else, the opportunities, the resources, the right people, will be drawn to you effortlessly. You are not becoming a millionaire. You are a millionaire. Act. Wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you recognize, something you claim is already yours. The great illusion of this world is that abundance exists outside of you, somewhere in the distance, something to be earned, fought for, or struggled toward. But this is not true. The only barrier between you and wealth is your own assumption that it is not yet yours. The moment you step into the reality of already being wealthy, everything around you begins to shift. You have been conditioned to believe that money is hard to come by, that only a select few are destined to be rich while the rest must scrape by. You have been told that success comes through years of sacrifice, through endless work, through waiting and hoping. But the truth is, wealth is not a product of time, it is a product of assumption. The wealth you desire already exists, and it is waiting for you to claim it, not through effort, but through alignment. Imagine for a moment that there is no such thing as lack. Imagine that in this very moment, you are already living in the reality where you have all that you need. You are not hoping for wealth, you are not wishing for it. You are resting in the certainty that it is already done. If you could fully accept this truth, without questioning it, without doubting it, then wealth would reveal itself to you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Your world is a reflection of your internal state. If you assume that money is scarce, you will experience scarcity. If you assume that money flows freely to you, it will. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. Look around you. Everything in your life right now is a manifestation of what you have believed to be true. The people you meet, the opportunities that appear or do not appear, the level of ease or struggle in your financial life, it is all a result of what you have assumed about yourself in the world. If you believe that wealth requires struggle, then struggle will be your reality. If you believe that wealth is something reserved for others, then you will always see it at a distance. But the moment you shift your assumption, the moment you decide that wealth is not something you must chase, but something you already embody, your experience will transform. You do not need to force money into your life. You only need to remove the belief that it is not already there. The wealth you seek is already here, already yours, waiting for you to become aware of it. Your assumption of being wealthy is the bridge between your current reality and the life you desire. An assumption is not mere thought. It is a deep knowing, an unshakable certainty that does not waver based on circumstances. Think about those who seem to attract money effortlessly. They do not walk through life questioning whether they are wealthy. They simply are. They expect abundance, and so it comes. They do not waste time worrying about lack, because lack is not a concept that exists in their reality. This is the state you must enter. You must see yourself as already being the person who has the wealth you desire. You must wake up each morning with the feeling of being financially free, of being abundant, of having more than enough. And as you hold this assumption, the world around you will begin to confirm it. It does not matter where you are right now. It does not matter what your bank account says, what your job pays, or what anyone else believes about you. What matters is what you believe. If you can shift your state of being, if you can truly assume the feeling of being wealthy, then everything else must align with that assumption. Your wealth already exists. Step into it. Act as if you are already in possession of the riches you seek. Walk with confidence. Speak with certainty. Make decisions as the wealthy version of yourself, and most importantly, refuse to entertain thoughts of lack. The moment you accept that you are already abundant, the world has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Your imagination is the architect of your reality. Every experience, every circumstance, and every financial outcome in your life is a direct reflection of what you have persistently imagined, whether consciously or unconsciously. The wealth you desire is not something external that you must chase. It is a reality that you must first construct within your mind. Most people believe that financial success is dictated by external conditions, by the economy, by their education, by their family background. But these are only shadows cast by something deeper, the assumptions and images held within their imagination. If you persistently see yourself as someone who struggles, as someone who must fight for every dollar, then your subconscious mind will ensure that this remains your experience. But if you begin to imagine yourself as a person of wealth, as someone who naturally attracts abundance, your reality will shift to reflect that new assumption. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes every impression you give it and works tirelessly to make it your experience. When you hold a consistent mental picture of yourself as a millionaire, when you feel the reality of wealth in your imagination, your subconscious mind begins to construct the path toward that vision. It orchestrates circumstances, attracts opportunities, and influences your actions in ways that bring your imagined reality into physical form. Look at those who have achieved great financial success. Many of them started with nothing, yet they carried a vision so strong that the outer world had no choice but to conform. They did not accept their current limitations as permanent. Instead, they lived in their imagination as if their wealth was already real. And by doing so, they summoned the conditions necessary to make it so. The difference between those who succeed financially and those who struggle is not luck, intelligence, or hard work. It is the ability to see beyond present circumstances and persist in an inner vision of abundance. Your job is not to worry about how your wealth will come. The path will unfold naturally as a result of your inner conviction. The moment you claim yourself to be a millionaire in your imagination, your subconscious mind begins working to make it so. It will guide you toward ideas, people, and opportunities that align with that state. It will push you to take actions that once seemed impossible. You may not even realize why you are drawn to certain choices, but in hindsight, you will see how every step was leading you exactly where you needed to be. Most people use their imagination against themselves. They spend their days worrying about financial problems, imagining worst-case scenarios, and reinforcing the idea that money is difficult to obtain. They unknowingly create a future of lack because they have made it their dominant mental picture. But you can reverse this process at any moment. You can begin now to construct a new vision, one in which wealth flows to you effortlessly, one in which you live in complete financial freedom. To do this, you must discipline your imagination. Every day, take time to close your eyes and see yourself living the life of abundance. Feel it as real. Experience the emotions of security, excitement, and gratitude as if you already possess everything you desire. Walk through your day carrying this inner conviction, refusing to entertain thoughts of doubt or limitation. The more real this vision becomes in your mind, the faster it will crystallize in your external world. Imagination is not mere fantasy, it is the creative power that shapes reality. You are always imagining something, whether intentionally or not. The question is, are you imagining wealth and abundance, or are you imagining struggle and lack? Choose now to see yourself as the millionaire you wish to be. Persist in that vision. Allow your subconscious mind to construct the path, and soon what was once only a mental picture will become your living reality. Most people live under the illusion that wealth must be earned through relentless struggle, endless effort, and sacrifice. They believe that success comes only to those who work the hardest, push the longest, and endure the most suffering. But this is a false belief, a limiting idea that keeps many trapped in a cycle of lack. Wealth is not a reward for struggle, it is a state of being, a natural flow that aligns with those who believe it to be easy, effortless, and already theirs. Look at the world around you. There are people who work from sunrise to sunset, exhausting themselves in jobs they despise, yet they barely make enough to survive. Meanwhile, there are others who seem to attract wealth effortlessly, who make money with ease, who live in a state of financial freedom without excessive toil. What separates these two groups? It is not intelligence, background, or luck. It is mindset. It is belief. It is the way they perceive money and their relationship to it. You must release the belief that making money is difficult. The moment you accept that abundance is natural and available to you, everything changes. Struggle is not a prerequisite for wealth. In fact, struggle repels it. When you believe that money is hard to come by, that you must fight for every dollar, you create resistance. You push wealth away because you are operating from a state of lack. You are affirming that money is something outside of you, something separate, something that must be earned through suffering. But wealth does not respond to suffering. It responds to alignment. It responds to alignment. It responds to alignment means stepping into the version of yourself who already has what you desire. It means thinking, feeling, and acting as if abundance is your natural state. The moment you let go of struggle, the moment you stop fighting and start allowing, money begins to flow in ways you never expected. Opportunities appear effortlessly. The right connections come into your life. Inspired ideas move through you, guiding you toward prosperity without force. This is not coincidence. It is the law of assumption in action. Think about those who seem to attract wealth effortlessly. They do not sit around worrying about how money will come. They do not obsess over every dollar, nor do they carry the burden of financial stress. They expect abundance, and so it comes. They understand that money is simply energy, and like all energy, it flows to those who are in harmony with it. So how do you detach from the illusion of struggle? First, examine your beliefs about money. Have you been taught that success requires pain? That wealth is only for the lucky few? That you must prove yourself worthy of financial freedom? If so, recognize these as false ideas that have been programmed into your mind. They are not absolute truths, they are just assumptions, and assumptions can be changed. Shift your focus from effort to alignment. Instead of asking, how can I work harder to make money? Ask, how can I align with the version of me who already has it? Begin to embody that version now. Speak as if you are already financially free. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows money is always flowing to them. Make decisions from a place of abundance, not fear. Trust the process. The mind will try to convince you that letting go of struggle is dangerous. It will tell you that without effort nothing will happen, but this is not true. The moment you stop resisting, the moment you stop forcing, you create space for abundance to enter. Detach from the belief that struggle is necessary. Release the idea that you must fight for wealth. Instead, step into the knowing that prosperity is already yours. When you do this, money will flow to you in ways that seem almost magical. But it is not magic. It is simply the natural result of alignment. Your words and thoughts are not idle. They are creative forces shaping the reality you experience. What you repeatedly say to yourself, what you affirm in your inner dialogue, and what you express outwardly become the foundation of your external world. If you desire wealth, you must speak and think only as the wealthy do. You must train yourself to eliminate words of lack and replace them with declarations of abundance. The average person speaks of struggle, limitation, and financial hardship without realizing that they are reinforcing these very conditions. They say, money is tight, I can't afford that, or I never have enough. These statements are not merely observations, they are commands to the subconscious mind, instructions that shape their financial reality. The more they affirm lack, the more they experience it. The wealthy, however, do not speak in this way. They do not entertain words of limitation because they understand that their words hold power. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," they say, "I will find a way to afford it." Instead of saying, "I never have enough," they declare, "Money flows to me effortlessly." They do not curse their circumstances, they bless them. They do not focus on what is missing, they focus on what is coming. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, struggle, and scarcity, you will harvest experiences that reflect those ideas. But if you plant seeds of wealth, confidence, and expectation, your world will transform. The key is to be intentional with every word you speak and every thought you entertain. Begin now to train yourself in the language of prosperity. Speak only of abundance. Even if your current reality does not yet reflect the wealth you desire, refuse to affirm anything but success. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of saying, "Making money is hard," say, "Opportunities flow to me effortlessly." Instead of saying, "I'm always behind on my bills," say, "I always have more than enough." Do not allow old patterns of speech to keep you trapped in financial struggle. Your inner dialogue is just as important as the words you speak aloud. Every thought you repeat to yourself is an affirmation. If you constantly tell yourself that wealth is difficult to achieve, that you are not lucky, or that you are destined to struggle, your subconscious mind will accept these statements as truth. It will shape your circumstances to reflect these beliefs. But if you fill your mind with thoughts of abundance, prosperity, and financial ease, your subconscious will construct a reality that aligns with these assumptions. Observe how the wealthy think and speak. They do not worry about lack because they do not identify with it. They do not dwell on problems, they focus on solutions. They expect success. They assume that money is always available to them. They walk with confidence, knowing that wealth is their natural state. And because they hold these beliefs, their reality reflects them. This is not about pretending or wishful thinking. It is about shifting your identity. The moment you decide to think and speak only as the wealthy do, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. You begin to attract the right opportunities, the right ideas, and the right circumstances. The outer world must eventually conform to the inner world you have created. Make this practice a daily discipline. Watch your words. Listen to your inner dialogue. Speak and think only in ways that affirm your financial success. Let every conversation be a reflection of the wealth you claim. Soon you will notice shifts in your reality. Unexpected income, new opportunities, a sense of ease where there was once struggle. And in time, what you once affirmed as an act of faith will become your undeniable truth. The moment you decide that wealth is yours, you must act as though it is already done. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to be something you are not. It means embodying the mindset, confidence, and decision-making of a person who already possesses the financial freedom you desire. You do not wait for your external reality to confirm your wealth. Instead, you confirm it first in your mind, and the world will adjust accordingly. Every wealthy person you admire first saw themselves as wealthy before the money arrived. Their success was not an accident. It was a manifestation of their inner state. They did not wait for proof before believing. They believed first. They carried themselves with certainty, made choices from a place of abundance, and expected financial success as a natural part of their existence. And because they assumed it to be true, it became true. When you act as though it is already done, you shift your identity. You no longer operate from a mindset of lack or hesitation. You no longer question whether wealth is possible for you. You know it is. This knowing transforms how you move through life. You make decisions not based on fear but on confidence. You do not shrink in the face of opportunities, you embrace them. You do not hesitate to invest in yourself, to expand your knowledge, to take the actions necessary to step into the reality you desire. Start now by observing how a wealthy person carries themselves. How do they walk? How do they speak? How do they interact with others? You will notice a sense of ease, a quiet confidence, an unshakable belief in their worth. They do not chase money desperately, they expect it. They do not lower themselves to beg for opportunities, they attract them. They are decisive, knowing that every decision they make moves them closer to even greater success. This is not about spending beyond your means or making impulsive financial choices. It is about aligning your energy with wealth in every way. If you desire financial freedom, ask yourself, how would the wealthiest version of me think? How would they feel? What habits would they have? What kind of conversations would they engage in? How would they respond to setbacks? Begin incorporating these traits into your daily life. Speak with assurance, knowing that wealth is already flowing to you. Make choices as though money is no longer an obstacle. Take care of yourself as though you already possess the freedom and luxury you desire. Surround yourself with environments, books, and people that reinforce your millionaire mindset. Wealth is not just about numbers in a bank account. It is a way of being. Those who possess true financial success do not let temporary circumstances dictate their mindset. They do not allow fear to control them, nor do they shrink when faced with challenges. Instead, they operate from a place of certainty, knowing that abundance is their natural state. The greatest mistake people make is waiting. They wait for external signs before they believe in their wealth. They wait until they have a certain amount of money before they feel secure. But this is backwards. Your reality is a mirror of your inner world. If you want financial freedom, you must feel financially free first. You must embody wealth now, before the evidence appears. Step into your millionaire phase today. Not someday, not when conditions seem perfect, but now. Walk, talk, and live as though it is already done. Your thoughts, your emotions, your choices must reflect the person you are becoming. When you do this, the world will have no choice but to rearrange itself to match your conviction. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you claim. The moment you do, it becomes yours. The journey to wealth is not one traveled by the faint of heart, nor is it a path carved by those dominated by doubt and fear. Wealth, in its truest form, is the fruit of unwavering faith, an unshakable belief in your right to abundance and your ability to manifest it. The universe does not respond to wishful thinking or fleeting hopes. It responds to conviction, to the certainty that what you seek is already yours, awaiting your acceptance. When you operate from a place of fear, you send a signal to the universe that you do not trust in the natural flow of abundance. Fear whispers that there is never enough, that opportunities are scarce, that your dreams are beyond reach. It creates resistance, blocking the very blessings you desire. Doubt, a close ally of fear, acts as a wall that repels prosperity. Every time you question your worthiness of wealth, every time you let fear guide your actions, you push away the financial freedom that is rightfully yours. On the other hand, is a magnet for wealth. It draws to you the people, opportunities, and ideas necessary for your prosperity. Faith does not waver in the face of obstacles, nor does it retreat when challenges arise. It stands firm, knowing that every setback is merely a setup for a greater comeback. When you embody faith, you align yourself with the natural laws of the universe, which are abundant, generous, and unfailing. The universe is a responsive force, a mirror reflecting back the essence of your innermost beliefs. If you believe that riches are inevitable for you, if you hold that conviction with steadfast faith, the universe will rearrange itself to bring this truth into your experience. It will open doors where there were none, create paths where only walls stood, and transform scarcity into plenty. Your faith becomes the blueprint from which the universe constructs your reality. But how do you cultivate this faith? How do you build an unbreakable belief in your ability to attract wealth? First, recognize that faith is a choice. It is a decision you make each day, each moment. Decide now that you are worthy of wealth, that abundance is your birthright, and that nothing can stand in the way of your prosperity. Affirm this belief daily. Speak words of abundance over your life. Say, I am destined for wealth. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. My faith is unshakable and my prosperity is inevitable. These are not just words. They are declarations of your divine right to abundance. Take inspired action. Faith without works is dead. Show the universe that you are serious about your wealth by acting as if it is already done. Make decisions from a place of abundance. Invest in yourself and your future. Seek out opportunities and seize them with confidence. Surround yourself with reminders of abundance. Read books, listen to speeches, and engage with people who reinforce your faith in prosperity. Create a vision board filled with images that represent the wealth you desire. Each time you see these images, let them remind you of the riches that are already on their way to you. Let go of timelines. The universe does not operate on human schedules. Trust that your wealth is manifesting in divine timing. Release the need to control the process and allow your faith to guide you through each step. Patience is a virtue that strengthens faith, for it shows the universe that you trust its timing and its plan for your prosperity. Doubt repels wealth, while faith attracts it. You cannot hold both simultaneously and expect to receive abundance. Choose faith over fear. Choose conviction over doubt. As you do, the universe will move mountains to bring you into alignment with the riches you seek. Your faith is the key that unlocks the vault of abundance, and with it you can claim the wealth that is already yours. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. The moment you assume it is already yours, the universe begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Your imagination creates the blueprint, your words shape your reality, and your actions confirm your belief. There is no struggle, no force, only alignment. Let go of fear, release the illusion of effort, and step boldly into the version of yourself that already possesses everything you desire. Wealth is not coming. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in deeply. Now I ask you, who are you if you already hold millions in your hands? How do you stand? How do you walk? What thoughts run through your mind as you wake in the morning knowing abundance flows endlessly to you? You see, the secret is this: you must not wait for evidence before you believe. The evidence appears only when you first accept it as real. Wealth is not a number in your bank account. It is a state of being. And the moment you step into that state, the world bends to reflect it back to you. Consider for a moment how a wealthy person moves through life. Do they worry? Do they doubt? No. They expect. They receive. They carry themselves with an unshakable confidence because they know they are rich. If you wish to manifest abundance, you must first feel abundant. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances change, but now. In this very moment, you must assume the feeling of one who already has everything they desire. Speak, think, and act as if the millions are yours. Stop telling the story of struggle. Stop claiming lack. Instead, speak words of certainty. I am financially free. I am prosperous beyond measure. Everything I touch turns to gold. When you move through your day, carry yourself with the quiet confidence of a millionaire. Not arrogance, but assurance. When you look at a price tag, do not shrink in hesitation. Mentally affirm, I can afford anything I desire. Even if your outer world has not yet changed, your inner shift will soon demand a reflection. Your only task is to remain faithful to this assumption. The moment you assume the state of wealth, unseen forces begin working on your behalf. The people, opportunities, and events necessary for its fulfillment will be drawn to you as effortlessly as the tide is drawn to the shore. But you must persist. Doubt will whisper, "It isn't working." Circumstances may suggest otherwise. Ignore them. The outer world is merely a delayed mirror of past assumptions. Keep the new assumption alive, and soon the evidence will appear before your very eyes. You are not trying to become wealthy, you are wealthy. You are not waiting to receive millions, you have millions. It is already done. Now go and live as though it were impossible to fail. There is a truth so simple, yet so profound, that once understood, it will change the way you move through life forever. Your world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Everything you see, touch, and experience first began as an idea within the mind. The unseen gives birth to the seen. The intangible shapes the tangible, and what you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, becomes the foundation upon which your life is built. Look at the circumstances that surround you, the people in your life, the opportunities that come or elude you, the wealth or lack thereof. All are manifestations of your inner world. They are the crystallized results of thoughts you have entertained, feelings you have nurtured, and beliefs you have accepted as reality. And yet, most people live under the illusion that life happens to them, that they are at the mercy of external forces. But this is a deception. You are not a victim of fate, you are the creator of it. Consider for a moment how everything in existence first came to be. Every towering building, every invention, every work of art, each one began as a thought in someone's mind. The chair you sit on was once a mere idea. The clothes you wear, the phone in your hand, the music you listen to, all first existed in imagination before becoming real. If this is true of the external world, why would it not also be true of your personal reality? You may believe that your current circumstances define who you are, but in truth, it is who you assume yourself to be that defines your circumstances. If you accept lack, struggle, and limitation as inevitable, then they will continue to appear in your life. If you believe you are powerless, life will only give you reasons to feel weak. But the moment you shift your assumption, when you accept that abundance, success, and happiness are natural for you, the outer world will begin to conform. This is not wishful thinking, this is law. What you hold in consciousness, whether in fear or in faith, will harden into fact. The process is always at work, whether you realize it or not. You cannot stop imagining, for imagination is the very essence of your being. But you can become aware of how you use it. Are you imagining worst-case scenarios? Are you constantly affirming struggle? Are you replaying past disappointments in your mind? If so, do not be surprised when these experiences continue to repeat themselves in your reality. To change your life, you must first change your assumption of what is possible. Begin by seeing yourself as already possessing that which you desire. Do not wait for proof. The proof will come after the assumption is made. If you wish for wealth, assume the feeling of being wealthy now. Walk as if you are already successful. Speak as if your desires are already yours. Carry yourself with the quiet assurance of one who knows that their success is inevitable. Doubt may arise. The logical mind will argue, this isn't real. But reality does not begin in the physical world. It begins in the unseen realm of thought. The outer world is simply a delayed reflection of the inner state. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your assumptions require time to take shape in the physical world. But make no mistake, once planted, they will grow. The key is persistence. You cannot plant a seed and dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You must trust the process. Hold firm to the assumption that what you desire is already yours, and do not waver, no matter what the outer world suggests. The moment you let go of doubt and fully embrace the reality you seek, it will begin to unfold before you in ways you never expected. Your life is not determined by external circumstances. It is determined by the thoughts you consistently hold. If you desire change, then change must first take place within. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live from that state, and watch as the world reshapes itself to match the vision you hold in mind. There is a profound difference between wishing for something and living as if it is already yours. Wishing implies separation. It acknowledges the absence of what you desire. But to embody the state of having, to live from the end, is to collapse the gap between you and your desire. It is to step into the feeling of fulfillment now, before the evidence appears, knowing that the outer world must eventually conform. Most people spend their lives hoping, yearning, and waiting for their desires to materialize, not realizing that this very state of longing keeps them stuck in lack. They wake up thinking about what they do not have. They move through the day reinforcing the idea that they are still waiting, and they go to sleep feeling as though their desires are just beyond their reach. And so the cycle continues. But what if you no longer wished? What if instead you assume the role of one who already possesses the wealth, the success, the freedom you seek? How would you think? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself in the world? Would you still dwell in doubt? Would you still fear the future? No. You would move with a quiet confidence, with an unshakable knowing that everything you desire is already yours. This is the key, to become what you seek before it physically appears, not through pretense, not through arrogance, but through the certainty that your assumption is reality. The world you see is simply a mirror, reflecting your dominant state of being. If you remain in the state of lack, life will only present you with more reasons to feel that way. But if you persist in the feeling of already having, then life must eventually confirm it. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The logical mind will always try to interfere, questioning every step, seeking evidence before belief. But the process does not work this way. The unseen precedes the seen. The assumption must come first, and the world will then rearrange itself to reflect it. Consider how a person who has already won millions behaves. They do not wake up worrying about how to pay their bills. They do not question whether they can afford something. They do not operate from desperation or fear. Instead, they move with a calm assurance, making choices from a place of abundance rather than lack. You must do the same. Stop acting as if wealth is something you are chasing. Instead, embody the version of yourself who already has it. Change the way you think, speak, and carry yourself. If you were already a millionaire, how would you approach opportunities? Would you hesitate, or would you move forward with confidence? Would you dwell on scarcity, or would you feel a deep sense of security and peace? You may say, but my bank account does not reflect this yet. That does not matter. Your external circumstances are simply the echoes of past assumptions. They have no power over you unless you continue to give them meaning. Ignore them. Persist in your new state, and soon, reality will catch up. It is not enough to merely visualize or affirm. You must feel it deeply. The feeling is what makes it real. If you can generate the feeling of already possessing what you seek, if you can dwell in that state consistently, then you are no longer seeking. You are. And once you are, the world must respond accordingly. You are not here to wish for a better life. You are here to assume the life you desire and let reality mold itself around you. Step into the state of already having. Move as if your millions are secured. Speak as if success is inevitable. Think from the position of one who has already won. When you live from the end must come to meet you. Your emotions are not mere reactions to the world around you. They are the creative force that shapes your reality. Every moment, you are vibrating at a particular frequency, and life responds to that frequency by bringing you experiences that match it. This is why two people in the same situation can have completely different outcomes. One person radiates confidence and abundance, while the other emanates fear and lack. Their external worlds reflect their internal states. If you feel lack, you create more of it. If you feel abundance, you call abundance to you. It is that simple. Your emotions do not lie. They reveal the assumptions you hold about life. When you feel anxious about money, it is because you assume money is scarce. When you feel rejected, it is because you assume you are unworthy of love. But if you could shift your emotional state, if you could generate the feeling of already having, already being, already receiving, you would see how effortlessly life rearranges itself to match your new vibration. Most people live reactively. They let the outer world dictate how they feel. If they see money in their bank account, they feel secure. If they receive a compliment, they feel valued. If an opportunity presents itself, they feel optimistic. But this is moving backward. You must feel first, and then the outer world will adjust accordingly. Imagine waking up every morning feeling deeply wealthy, regardless of what your financial situation appears to be. You walk through your day with a quiet confidence, knowing that all your needs are met. You do not panic over expenses, you do not hesitate when making choices, and you do not entertain thoughts of scarcity. Your emotional state is one of certainty, of ease, of absolute trust that abundance is already yours. If you could maintain this feeling, your external world would have no choice but to reflect it back to you. But the opposite is also true. If you wake up every morning feeling fearful, anxious, and desperate, then life will confirm those feelings. You will find yourself encountering delays, struggles, and situations that reinforce your belief in lack. This is not a punishment. It is simply the law at work. You are always manifesting, whether you realize it or not. Your emotions are the signal you are sending out, and the universe responds accordingly. This is why affirmations and visualizations only work when they are backed by emotion. Simply repeating, "I am wealthy," while feeling deep financial anxiety will not change anything. The words are empty unless they are accompanied by the feeling of truth. But if you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, and genuinely feel the relief, the gratitude, and the excitement of already having what you desire, if you can hold on to that feeling long enough, it will begin to take root in your reality. The key is to train yourself to feel ahead of the evidence. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you allow yourself to feel joy, success, and security. Feel them now. Act as if you have already received, and the receiving will follow. Of course, doubts will arise. The logical mind will try to pull you back into old patterns, saying, "But look at your situation. How can you feel abundant when nothing has changed?" Ignore this voice. It is only the echo of past conditioning. You are not bound by the past. You are creating anew, and emotions are your tool. Each day, make it your priority to cultivate the emotions that align with your desires. Play music that makes you feel powerful. Walk with the posture of someone who already has everything they need. Speak as if success is certain. When you feel abundance deeply and consistently, you will find that life begins to reflect it in ways you never imagined. You are the creator, and your emotions are the brush with which you paint your reality. One of the greatest obstacles to manifesting your desires is the tendency to obsess over how they will come to pass. The logical mind seeks certainty, needing to know every step, every detail, every possible route from here to fulfillment. But this fixation on the how only creates resistance, for it keeps you trapped in a state of doubt and limitation. When you try to control the process, you signal to the universe that you do not truly trust in the power of your assumption. And what you do not trust, you push away. The unseen forces that shape reality do not operate by human logic. They do not require your interference. Just as the roots of a tree extend unseen beneath the soil, drawing in nourishment to support its inevitable growth, so too does the unseen intelligence of the universe orchestrate the unfolding of your desires in ways beyond your comprehension. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. Everything else is irrelevant. Consider a farmer who plants a seed in the earth. He does not sit beside it, digging it up every hour to check its progress. He does not demand to know exactly how each root will form, how each leaf will sprout, or how the rain and sun will work together to bring it to fruition. He simply trusts that, in due time, the seed will become what it was always meant to be. This is the attitude you must adopt. You have planted the seed of your desire in the soil of imagination. If you constantly question how it will grow, you disrupt the natural process. But if you leave it undisturbed, nourishing it only with faith and persistence, it must manifest. Many fail because they look for signs too soon. They watch their circumstances obsessively, searching for proof that things are changing. And when they do not see immediate evidence, they fall into doubt, undoing the work they have done internally. But manifestation is not about external confirmation. It is about unwavering internal conviction. Your job is not to manipulate events, to force outcomes, or to micromanage the process. Your job is to feel as though it is done. The world will then move in ways you could not have predicted to bring your assumption into reality. Doors will open, paths will appear, and circumstances will shift, all without your effort. Think of a person who already possesses what you desire. Do they concern themselves with how it came to be? Do they anxiously try to piece together the events that led to their success? No, they simply enjoy it. They live in the reality of having, not questioning or doubting its presence. This is the state you must embody before the evidence arrives. You do not need to know how your millions will come. You do not need to map out the exact sequence of events that will lead you to your goal. You only need to persist in the feeling of already having it. The means will take care of themselves. Perhaps you will receive an unexpected opportunity. Perhaps a chance encounter will lead you to something greater than you imagined. Or perhaps circumstances will shift so seamlessly that it will feel as though your desire materialized effortlessly. But none of that is your concern. Release the need to control. Let go of the constant questioning. Move with the quiet confidence of one who knows that their success is inevitable. Trust that the unseen forces are at work, arranging everything in perfect order. Your assumption is the cause, and the world must reflect it. So walk forward without doubt, without hesitation, without the need for proof. Persist in your assumption and let the universe handle the rest. The how is not yours to worry about. It is already taken care of. Your words and actions are not separate from your thoughts. They are extensions of your inner state. What you consistently say and do reflects what you truly believe about yourself and your life. If you wish to manifest great wealth, you must align every word you speak and every action you take with the reality of one who already possesses it. Most people speak from their current circumstances rather than from the state they wish to embody. They say things like, "I can't afford that," "money is so hard to come by," or "I'm always struggling." Every time they affirm these beliefs, they reinforce their financial reality. The universe simply mirrors what they declare as truth. They may visualize wealth, they may even feel abundant for a moment, but the moment they revert to speech that affirms lack, they undo their own work. Your words carry creative power. They are declarations of what you accept as real. If you wish to manifest wealth, you must train yourself to speak only from a place of abundance. This does not mean lying or pretending. It means choosing words that align with the wealth you claim to possess internally. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, That's not a priority for me right now. Instead of saying, I'm broke, say, wealth is flowing to me in ways I cannot yet see. You must speak as though your millions are already yours. But words alone are not enough. Your actions must reflect your new state as well. How does a wealthy person move through life? Do they hesitate over small purchases? Do they feel anxious about spending money? Do they approach opportunities with fear and doubt? No. They carry themselves with confidence. They invest in themselves without hesitation. And they trust that their resources will always replenish. This does not mean reckless spending. It means adopting the mindset of financial security before the evidence arrives. It means treating money as an abundant, ever-flowing resource rather than something scarce and fleeting. If you hold on to every dollar with fear, believing you might never get more, you reinforce the idea that money is hard to come by. But if you spend with the quiet assurance that more is always on its way, you align yourself with true abundance. The way you carry yourself also speaks volumes. Do you walk with the posture of one who is weighed down by financial stress? Or do you move with the ease and confidence of a person who knows they are wealthy? Do you dress and present yourself with care? Or do you let your outer appearance reflect a belief in lack? Every detail matters because every detail reinforces an assumption. Consider the habits of those who already possess great wealth. They invest in their growth. They surround themselves with success-minded individuals, and they approach every opportunity with the certainty that they belong in rooms of influence. They do not speak in desperation, they speak in certainty. They do not act from fear, they act from power. And aligning your speech and actions with wealth means carrying yourself as though your financial reality has already transformed. It means making decisions from the mindset of abundance rather than from scarcity. It means embodying the confidence, generosity, and ease of a person who knows they are financially secure. Each day, ask yourself, would a millionaire say this? Would a millionaire act this way? Would a millionaire hesitate in this moment? And then adjust accordingly. Speak only words of abundance. Move only in ways that reflect confidence. Take actions that affirm your financial freedom. The moment you fully embody the state of wealth, the external world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. The greatest test of your ability to manifest wealth, success, or any desire is your persistence in the face of doubt. It is easy to believe when everything appears to be working in your favor, when signs seem to affirm that your assumption is taking shape. But what will you do when the physical world shows no evidence of change? What will you do when old fears and doubts creep in, whispering that perhaps this is not working, that maybe you are fooling yourself? This is where most people fail, not because their desires are impossible, but because they waver in their faith before the unseen becomes seen. The moment you assume a new state of being, reality begins shifting. But because physical manifestation follows an unseen process, there is often a delay between assumption and realization. This delay is not a sign of failure, it is simply the natural unfolding of events. Most people misinterpret this period of transition as proof that their efforts are in vain. In their impatience, they return to old thoughts, old doubts, and old emotional reactions, undoing the very progress they had made. They do not persist long enough for the new state to solidify into fact. You must be different. You must persist until it is done. There can be no half-hearted attempts, no wavering back and forth between belief and disbelief. If you have chosen the state of wealth, then that is the state you must occupy mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. No matter what appears before you, if doubt arises, you do not entertain it. You remind yourself that what is seen is merely a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. And since you are no longer that person, since you have shifted your state, you know that the outer world must rearrange itself accordingly. Consider a sculptor who is committed to carving a masterpiece from a block of stone. He does not stop midway simply because he cannot yet see the final form. He does not abandon his work because in the beginning it looks nothing like the vision he holds in his mind. He persists, chiseling away, refining his creation until the masterpiece emerges. This is how you must treat your assumption. You must hold on to it, unwavering, until it hardens into fact. When doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not resist them with fear. Instead, observe them with detachment, knowing they are remnants of an old state that no longer belongs to you. Let them pass through your awareness without giving them power. Affirm to yourself, this is already done. My wealth is inevitable. The world is simply catching up to my assumption. Faith is not about seeing first and then believing. Faith is knowing that what you have assumed is already yours, long before any proof appears. Those who achieve great wealth, success, and transformation do not do so because they are lucky or special. They do so because they refuse to return to their old selves. They persist in the new state until it is fully expressed in their reality. So make a decision now. Will you allow temporary appearances to dictate your belief, or will you persist in the unseen until it becomes seen? Will you waver in moments of doubt, or will you stand firm in your conviction? The choice is yours. But know this, the universe does not deny what you persist in assuming is true. If you refuse to entertain any reality other than the one you desire, if you remain unwavering in your assumption, then the world must conform. There is no other possibility. So persist. Persist through the silence. Persist through the doubts. Persist through every appearance that tries to convince you otherwise. Because the moment you refuse to turn back, the moment you make the decision that this is already yours, it is done. Everything you seek, wealth, success, abundance, already exists within you. Your imagination is the key, shaping your reality through your assumptions. By living from the end, feeling the emotions of already having what you desire, and detaching from the how, you align yourself with the reality you wish to experience. Your words and actions must reflect this truth, reinforcing your belief until it becomes unshakable. And above all, you must persist, refusing to waver, refusing to return to the old self, until your assumption hardens into fact. The world is simply a reflection of your inner state. When you truly embody the wealth you seek, when you walk, speak, and move with the confidence of one who already possesses it, the outer world must conform. There is no other outcome. So stand firm in your belief, stay faithful to your vision, and watch as the unseen forces arrange everything in your favor. Thank you. There comes a moment in life when everything shifts. A moment when what seemed impossible suddenly becomes possible. When doors that were once shut are thrown wide open, and when the burdens you carried for so long are lifted in an instant. That moment is upon you. The miracle you have been waiting for is already in motion. But the question is, are you ready to receive it? Many believe that miracles come as a surprise, as though they arrive unannounced, but that is not so. Every great shift, every blessing, and every breakthrough first begins within you before it is made visible. What you see around you today is nothing more than the result of past assumptions, past beliefs, and past expectations. If you desire a miracle, you must first make space for it in your mind. Right now, regardless of how things may seem, I tell you, assume the feeling that your miracle is already here. If it were true, how would you feel? If the answer you've been seeking had already come, how would you act? The greatest key to receiving a miracle is to prepare for it as though it were already done. Let your mind, your emotions, and your very being align with the reality that it is finished. Doubt will whisper, but how? When? From where? Do not concern yourself with such questions, for they are distractions. The ways of God are beyond human understanding. The ways of God are beyond human understanding. The moment you surrender the how and fully accept that it must come to pass, you have unlocked the floodgates. Watch for the signs will begin to appear. You will notice subtle shifts, moments of divine alignment, and doors opening where there were once walls. Do not dismiss them. These are the whispers of the unseen world making itself known. Every small sign is confirmation that the greater manifestation is on its way. And so I say to you, rejoice now. Do not wait for the miracle to appear before you celebrate. Give thanks today as though the blessing has already arrived. Walk with the confidence of one who has already received, speak as one who already possesses, and believe as one who has already seen. This is the key to unlocking the miracle that is on its way to you. Be ready. The impossible is about to become possible. The unseen is about to be seen. What you have prayed for, hoped for, and longed for is about to be placed in your hands. God is moving, and your miracle is here. Are you ready? The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a reflection of you. Every condition, every circumstance, every so-called chance event is but a shadow cast by the unseen forces within you. The miracle you seek is not something coming from the outside to change your life. It is something rising from within to shape what is seen. The moment you understand this truth, you awaken to the greatest power given to you, the ability to create from within. Look at the world around you, the people you meet, the situations you find yourself in, the opportunities that come your way, and even the challenges you face. All of them are reflections of the state of your inner world. What you hold in consciousness, whether in faith or in fear, must express itself in form. There is no escaping this law. You may believe that external forces dictate the direction of your life, but the truth is, you are the cause and your world is the effect. If you desire a miracle, then you must first give birth to it in your imagination. You must feel it, know it, and live in the awareness of its reality before it has yet appeared. This is where many falter. They look at their current reality and assume that it is fixed, unchangeable, or that change can only come from struggle, effort, or the intervention of something greater than themselves. But what if the miracle has already begun? What if at this very moment, unseen forces are aligning in your favor, waiting only for you to recognize and accept the truth that it is already done? Consider a seed planted in the soil. If one were to look at the ground the next day and see nothing, they might assume that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the seed has begun its work. The roots are forming, the energy is moving, and in time, it will break through the surface to be seen by all. The same is true of the miracle forming in your life. Just because you do not see it with your eyes does not mean it is not already taking shape. The unseen realm is more real than the visible one, and what is held persistently in the mind must be made manifest in the world. Doubt is the great thief of miracles. Many hold on to a desire, but also hold on to the fear that it will not come. They allow their present circumstances to dictate their faith, rather than their faith to dictate their circumstances. But the one who understands the law knows that the external is merely an echo of the internal. If you persist in the belief that your miracle is already here, if you refuse to entertain any thought of lack, delay, or failure, then the world must bend to reflect this inner knowing. Let go of the illusion that you must struggle to receive. Miracles are not given to the worthy, they are given to the expectant. If you would truly receive, you must align yourself with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. Walk as though it has already been done. Speak as though you have already received. Rejoice now, not in hope, but in certainty. Think of the moments in your life when something unexpected yet wonderful happened. Perhaps an opportunity came at just the right time. A door opened when you least expected it, or a solution arrived seemingly out of nowhere. These moments were not accidents. They were manifestations of unseen forces responding to the patterns of your inner world. If you desire a miracle now, shift your inner world to match it. See yourself already possessing what you desire. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude as though it were already in your hands. If you do this faithfully, the outer world must conform. The law is unwavering, and what is impressed upon the unseen must express itself in the seen. Your world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The conditions of your life are not obstacles preventing your miracle, they are the stepping stones leading you to it. Even the challenges you face now are not signs of failure, but signs that transformation is underway. Hold firm in your belief, for the moment you surrender to the truth that your miracle is already forming, you open the way for it to unfold effortlessly. The unseen forces are moving, the energy is shifting, and the doors are unlocking. Your only task is to remain unwavering in the truth that what you seek is seeking you. The miracle is not distant, it is not delayed, it is here, now, within you, waiting only for you to claim it. And imagine that the miracle you have been waiting for has already happened. Feel it, experience the relief, the joy, the gratitude that would flood your heart if you knew with absolute certainty that everything had already fallen into place. If you can hold this feeling, if you can dwell in this state long enough, then you have unlocked the greatest secret of manifestation. What you assume to be true in the depths of your being must become true in your external world. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of creation. Most people live in reaction to what they see, believing that they must first witness change before they can feel it. But the truth is the opposite. The world is only a mirror, reflecting back the state of your inner being. If you wait for evidence before you believe, you will wait forever. But if you assume the feeling of your miracle now, before the physical proof appears, you set in motion the unseen forces that shape reality. You must learn to discipline your imagination, for it is the bridge between what is unseen and what becomes seen. Every great change, every breakthrough, every answered prayer begins first as an assumption, a state of mind fully accepted as real. If you assume lack, struggle, or delay, you will unknowingly create more of it. But if you assume that you are already living in the reality you desire, then the world must conform to match that assumption. Think of the times in your life when you felt deep certainty about something before it happened. Perhaps there was a moment when you just knew that an opportunity was yours, even before you received confirmation. Or maybe there was a time when you expected bad news, and it came exactly as you feared. This is the power of assumption. It is always working, whether you use it consciously or not. The key is to direct it deliberately toward the life you want. Right now, regardless of what your senses tell you, begin to assume the feeling of your miracle. If your body were healed, how would you feel? If your financial situation had already turned around, what kind of peace would settle over you? If your deepest desire were already fulfilled, how would you carry yourself? Allow yourself to fully step into that feeling now, even if nothing has changed externally. The moment you do, you shift your inner state, and reality must rearrange itself accordingly. Some will say, but how can I feel something that isn't real yet? The answer is simple. Your feelings do not come from the world. They come from your thoughts. If you close your eyes and vividly imagine standing in your dream home, touching the walls, hearing the echoes of your footsteps, and breathing in the air, your body does not know the difference between that imagined experience and reality. It responds as if it were real. The same is true for any miracle you seek. The more deeply you assume the feeling of already having it, the more powerfully you call it into existence. Doubt is the only thing that can disrupt this process. The moment you allow conflicting thoughts to take root, you dilute the power of your assumption. That is why persistence is key. You must return again and again to the feeling of already having what you seek, refusing to entertain any thought that contradicts it. Let the world say what it will. Let circumstances appear unchanged. None of it matters if you remain steadfast in your inner conviction. There will be signs before the full manifestation appears. You will notice subtle shifts, small coincidences, unexpected opportunities, or moments of deep inner knowing. Do not dismiss them. These are confirmations that your assumption is taking form. The more you acknowledge these signs and remain in the feeling of already having what you desire, the faster it will materialize. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to sustain this feeling. Give thanks not for what you hope will come, but for what you know is already yours. When you express gratitude as if the miracle has already happened, you accelerate its arrival. You no longer place yourself in a state of waiting, but in a state of having, and the universe responds accordingly. Your only task is to remain unwavering in your assumption. The world cannot help but reflect what you persistently feel to be true. So assume the feeling of your miracle already happening and watch as it moves from the unseen into the seen, from imagination into reality. It is already done. Now, live as though it is. Doubt and fear are the great thieves of miracles. They creep in quietly, disguising themselves as logic, caution, and even wisdom. Yet their only purpose is to keep you from fully stepping into the life that is already waiting for you. The truth is, the only thing standing between you and the manifestation of your miracle is your own hesitation. The moment you release all doubt and fear, you open the way for what is already yours to appear in your world. Faith is not just believing in something, it is knowing with absolute certainty that what you desire is already yours, even when your senses tell you otherwise. Faith is the bridge that connects the unseen to the seen, the imagined to the real. But this bridge must be walked without hesitation. If you stand in the middle, unsure whether to continue forward or retreat in fear, you only delay the inevitable. The moment you take a firm step forward and refuse to look back, reality must shift in your favor. Think about what happens when you plant a seed in the ground. You do not stand over it in doubt, questioning whether it will grow. You do not dig it up every few days to check if anything is happening beneath the soil. You simply trust the process. You know that as long as the conditions are right, growth is inevitable. Your desires, your prayers, and your visions are no different. The moment you plant them in the fertile soil of your mind and nourish them with unwavering belief, they must take root and grow. But if you allow doubt and fear to interfere, you disrupt the process. You uproot what was already beginning to manifest, slowing down what was meant to come easily. Fear convinces you that your desires are too big, that you are unworthy, or that obstacles stand in your way. But these are illusions. The only power they have is the power you give them. The moment you decide that fear has no place in your mind, it loses all control over you. The same goes for doubt. If you constantly question whether your miracle will happen, you are sending a mixed signal to the universe. You are asking for something while at the same time refusing to believe it can come. But when you replace doubt with absolute trust, when you let go of hesitation and step boldly into the certainty that what you desire is already making its way to you, the entire universe moves to align with that conviction. How do you let go of doubt and fear? By shifting your focus. Stop looking at what is missing and start seeing what is already unfolding. Stop questioning when or how it will happen and start knowing that it is happening. Live as though your miracle has already arrived. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude as though it were already done. The more you dwell in this state, the more real it becomes. And soon, it must take form in the physical world. Every person who has ever achieved something great has had to overcome doubt and fear. They had to act as though success was inevitable, even when there was no evidence of it yet. The same principle applies to you. Whatever miracle you seek, whether it is healing, financial breakthrough, love, or any other desire, it is already forming. The only thing that can keep it from appearing is your own disbelief. But the moment you let go fully and completely and trust that it is done, the way is cleared for it to arrive effortlessly. There is nothing you need to force. The miracle does not require struggle, only alignment. The doors that seem closed now are not locked. They are waiting for you to approach with confidence, knowing they will open. The opportunities you think are out of reach are already within your grasp. You just need to step forward and claim them. Let go of every thought that tells you it is not possible. Let go of every fear that whispers of failure. These are merely shadows, powerless unless you give them substance. Fill your mind with certainty. Speak as though your miracle is already here. Walk as though the path is already clear. Rest in the knowing that what is meant for you cannot be lost, and what is truly yours is already on its way. When you release doubt and fear, you make room for faith. And faith is the force that transforms the unseen into the seen. The miracle is not something distant, waiting for the right moment to appear. It is already here, waiting for you to believe in it fully. Let go of hesitation, let go of fear, step forward with complete trust, and watch as what was once unseen becomes undeniable reality. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that everything you've been waiting for has already happened. The struggle is over, the uncertainty has vanished, and the life you have longed for is now your reality. How do you feel? Relieved? Overjoyed? Peaceful? If you can hold this feeling within you, if you can make it your dwelling place, then you have unlocked the greatest secret of all: to live as though it is already done. Most people live in reaction to what they see. They wait for external proof before they allow themselves to believe, to celebrate, or to feel at peace. But this is backward. The world does not change first. You do. The moment you assume that your desire is already fulfilled and begin to act, think, and feel in alignment with that reality, the world must adjust to reflect your inner state. The truth is, you are always living in alignment with something. If you believe in delay, you will experience delay. If you assume struggle, you will continue to struggle. But the moment you shift your focus and accept that what you seek is already yours, you step into a new version of yourself, one that is aligned with the very thing you desire. This is not wishful thinking. It is the creative power of belief in action. Imagine someone who has been longing for financial abundance, but continues to think, act, and feel as though they are struggling. They say, "When I have more money, I'll feel secure." But because they do not yet feel secure, they remain trapped in the cycle of lack. Now picture someone who begins to live as though they already have all that they need. They stop worrying, they move through life with confidence, and they express gratitude as though the abundance has already arrived. Soon their outer world begins to mirror this inner certainty, and opportunities appear where before there were none. This principle applies to everything: love, success, health, happiness. Whatever it is that you seek, you must first become the version of yourself that already has it. If you desire love, carry yourself as someone who is deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, think and act as someone who is already successful. If you desire healing, hold the feeling of vitality and wholeness within you. Everything that is within you, the highest truth, and the virtue and the wholeness within you, the energy you embody is the energy you attract. But this is where many hesitate. They ask, how can I act as though my life has changed when nothing has happened yet? The answer is simple. Reality is not fixed. It is shaped by your perception and belief. The moment you commit to the feeling of having, rather than waiting for proof, the proof must appear. You do not need to force anything. This is not about pretending or putting on an act for the world. It is about shifting your inner state so completely that you no longer doubt, you no longer ask when it will happen, because you already know that it has happened in the unseen. You walk with confidence, you think from the place of fulfillment, and you move through life with the certainty that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Doubt is the only thing that can block this process. If you waver between believing and questioning, you create resistance. But when you remain steadfast, when you refuse to entertain any thought contrary to your desire, the way must open. This is why persistence is key. The world may not change instantly, but if you hold firm, look at your life now. What would be different if you truly believed your miracle had already happened? Would you still feel anxious? Would you still worry about the outcome? Or would you rest in certainty, knowing that everything is already working in your favor? Choose to dwell in that certainty now. Feel the joy, the gratitude, and the peace of knowing it is already done. The moment you shift your state, the world begins to shift around you. Doors open effortlessly, circumstances change, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is not magic, it is the natural law of creation. Live as though it is already done, and watch as reality reshapes itself to match your conviction. The moment you set an intention, the universe begins to move. Even if you cannot yet see the full manifestation of your desire, the signs will start to appear. These signs are not coincidences, they are glimpses of what is unfolding, proof that your inner world is taking shape in the outer world. But you must learn to recognize them, affirm them, and trust that they are leading you toward the full realization of your miracle. Many people dismiss these early signs because they expect instant and dramatic change. They believe that if their desire has not yet arrived in its entirety, then nothing is happening. But manifestation is often a process, unfolding in steps. First, you will notice small shifts, unexpected opportunities, sudden insights, conversations that align perfectly with what you're seeking. These are signals that the energy is moving, that your faith is beginning to take form. Imagine someone who is manifesting financial abundance. Before a large sum of money appears, they may notice small, unexpected gifts, discounts, or financial opportunities coming their way. A free coffee, an old debt forgiven, a new business idea suddenly forming in their mind. These are signs that the flow has begun. If they dismiss these as insignificant, they may fall back into doubt, slowing the manifestation process. But if they recognize and affirm these signs as proof that abundance is on its way, they align even more deeply with the reality they desire. The same is true for love. If someone is manifesting a relationship, the first signs might not be the perfect partner arriving overnight. Instead, they may start noticing more acts of kindness around them, feeling an increased sense of self-love, or encountering people who mirror the qualities they are looking for. These are not accidents. They are evidence that their inner world is shifting, and soon the full manifestation will follow. One of the greatest mistakes people make is ignoring these small shifts because they seem too minor. But everything begins as a seed. The first sprout pushing through the soil is just as much a part of the tree as the branches that will one day bear fruit. If you disregard the early stages, you risk uprooting what is already growing. Instead, you must celebrate every sign, no matter how small, as confirmation that your desire is making its way to you. Synchronicities are another powerful sign. You may find yourself thinking about something, only for it to appear in conversation or in a book you randomly pick up. You may meet someone who provides exactly the insight you need, or hear a song that speaks directly to your current situation. These are not random occurrences. They are messages from the universe, nudging you forward, reassuring you that your miracle is unfolding. But you must pay attention. The more you recognize these signs, the more they will appear, The more you affirm them as proof of your manifestation, the stronger your belief becomes. And belief is what bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. On the other hand, delays the process. If you see a sign and immediately question whether it means anything, you disrupt the flow. The universe is always responding to your dominant state of mind. If you are constantly looking for evidence that your manifestation isn't happening, you will find it. But if you train yourself to look for signs that it is happening, those signs will multiply. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen this process. When you acknowledge and appreciate even the smallest indication that things are moving in your favor, you send out the message that you are ready to receive. This speeds up the process. Instead of waiting in frustration, you are living in a state of trust and expectation. Consider how a traveler feels when they see signs on the road pointing toward their destination. They do not stop and question whether they are on the right path. They take the signs as confirmation and continue forward with confidence. Your signs work the same way. They are guiding you, showing you that what you have asked for is making its way into your reality. Pay attention, look for the shifts, the whispers, the synchronicities. Celebrate them, speak them aloud, affirm, "This is proof that my desire is on its way." The more you do this, the faster your miracle will appear in full form. The signs will always precede the manifestation. Recognize them, trust them, and watch as the unseen becomes seen, as the promise transforms into reality. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is the ultimate state of receptivity, the signal that you are ready to receive what is already yours. When you embody gratitude, you are not asking, pleading, or hoping. You are affirming. You are declaring that what you seek is already unfolding, that the miracle is not something to chase, but something to welcome. Most people believe that gratitude should come after the blessing, that they must wait until they see the miracle before they give thanks. But this is not how manifestation works. The external world is simply a reflection of your internal state. If you withhold gratitude until your desire is visible, you are telling yourself that it does not yet exist, that you are separate from it. But the moment you shift into gratitude before the manifestation, you step into alignment with it. You make yourself a match to the reality where it is already done. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It is a frequency. When you are truly grateful, you emit the vibration of having, of fulfillment. You no longer operate from a state of lack or longing. You no longer wait anxiously, wondering if it will happen. You rest in certainty. You act, think, and feel as though the blessing is already yours. This is the key. Imagine someone who is expecting a gift. They do not question whether it is coming. They do not doubt or worry about when it will arrive. They are simply excited, expectant, and thankful in advance. They prepare a place for it, knowing that it is on its way. This is how you must approach your miracle. Your readiness is just as important as your gratitude. If you say you believe but make no room for the blessing, you are not truly expecting it. If you are asking for abundance but continue thinking like someone in lack, you are not prepared to receive. If you are seeking love but remain closed off, still holding on to past wounds, you are not open to it. Readiness is about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you desire. Think about a farmer who plants a seed. He does not simply place it in the ground and walk away in doubt. He nurtures it, waters it, and prepares for the harvest long before he sees any sign of growth. He does this because he understands a fundamental truth. What is planted must grow. Your desires work the same way. Once you have planted the seed of intention, your only task is to trust, to nurture your faith, and to prepare for the inevitable arrival. Ask yourself, are you making space for what you desire? Are you speaking as though it is already yours? Are you thinking from the place of fulfillment rather than lack? The way you live now must reflect the certainty that your miracle is already in motion. Doubt is the only thing that can delay the process. If you entertain thoughts of lack, if you question whether you are worthy, if you constantly wonder when it will happen, you are stepping out of alignment with the reality where it is already done. This is why unwavering conviction is crucial. Do not let what you see in the present moment shake your faith. The world must rearrange itself to match your belief, but you must hold steady. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps you in alignment. Even in moments where you cannot yet see the full manifestation, find reasons to give thanks. Look around at the blessings already present in your life. Recognize the small signs that things are shifting in your favor. Speak words of gratitude every day, not as a ritual, but as a way of being. When you are in a state of gratitude and readiness, you are like a vessel open to receive. You are not chasing, forcing, or doubting. You are allowing. You are saying, I know it is already done and I am ready. The universe responds to this certainty. Miracles do not come to those who beg, they come to those who believe. They come to those who are prepared, to those who have already made space in their hearts and minds for the blessing. So, walk in gratitude. Live as though it is already here. Be open, receptive, and unwavering in your conviction. The miracle is certain. It is already unfolding. Your only task is to stay in the state of knowing, trusting, and receiving. In the journey of bringing your miracle into reality, remember this. Everything begins within you. Your inner world shapes your outer experiences. Assume the feeling of your miracle already happening and watch as the universe aligns in your favor. Release all doubt and fear, for they only serve to block the blessings already on their way. Live boldly as though it is already done, because it is. Recognize the signs that precede manifestation, those whispers and synchronicities that reassure you are on the right path. Stay in a state of gratitude and readiness, knowing that what you desire is certain and already yours. Your miracle is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting to be claimed. Stand firm in your conviction, embrace your faith, and celebrate in advance. The unseen is becoming seen. Trust this process, for the power to create and transform lies within you. Thank you for allowing these words to remind you of the immense power that resides within. Your miracle is here. Be ready to receive it. Thank you.